Oh my goodness. Hi, Facebook family. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Twitch. I'm new to Twitch, y'all. So y'all got to bear with me. I got to get used to the whole Twitch vibe. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Happy Women's History Month. I'm so excited. 5 days ago was my birthday. So happy belated birthday to me once again. My birthday was March 10th. It was a blessing. I enjoyed it with family. And I'm just happy to be back on with you guys. It's nice to see you. March, spring is coming. The weather has been good to us despite all the crazy snowstorms and rainstorms that we've had in the past weeks and COVID. Everything is starting to slowly but surely come back to what we quote unquote call normal. But that all depends on your definition of what normal looks like. And after COVID, some of us are redefining what normal should be. So I just wanted to quickly introduce myself before I bring on our special, awesome, phenomenal guest tonight, the brand one of the many brand ambassadors of the 320 collection of Miss Yvonne Williams collection, 320 collection. Shout out to Yvonne. For allowing us to have her brand back on the show again. She was on the previous series before, so we're excited to bring her brand back on and to update you guys on what they have been working on and their brand ambassador program. But before I get into that, let me do my little spiel, my little intro. I am Tiffany F. Young. I'm your six-figure video content strategist. So I work on all the content strategies regarding video marketing. I also do executive coaching as well as live, and I also provide live streaming services for those that want to start web series for their own brands, small businesses, solopreneurs. Video is where it's at. You will reach many more people through video than still images. And as you can see, if you see the marketing trends, this is, video is where it's at because IG Reels is popping, TikTok, and you name it. And of course, YouTube has always been here. Facebook Live, IGTV is still a big thing. So it's where the video. So because people want to feel your heart, they want to see your face, they want to know you, they want to fill out your personality, and you can't fully bring your personality and written content or still images like video because they're hearing your voice. They're seeing your body language, right? Your behavior, if you're funny, if you're cool, if you're awkward like them, they want to feel that. So I am a strong believer and advocate for video, not just because I'm in this industry and I do it as a business, but because I really believe it. For someone like me who has been a creative introvert for so long, video is where it's at, and it took me a long time to get here. So one thing too, don't worry, I got you. Once you work with me, I build up your confidence on and off the camera to make sure that you're ready. I give you the little assignments to get you to the level where you will do, go live streaming, go live on Facebook, IG, whatever, is the best platform for your business. I look at to all the, the marketing trends and things around your business and who your target audience is to see, which platform best suits them and all of these things. So just bear that in mind. Know that I got you. I'm not going to throw you out to the wolves in video land and leave you there. So know that I got you, and I would hold your hand through the entire process, and know that when we work together, we win together. So that is my spiel. Let's bring up the 320 logo and let's get into this bio so we can bring on our special guest tonight. So tonight our guest is DaVonna May. I love this girl. I actually know her. She's a good friend of mine, a sister of mine. She was one of the many people that inspired me. Little does she know, to get into entrepreneurship and do business. She also inspired me to really be the face of my brand. She used to always like drill it in my head, like you need to get your brand out there. You need to become more personable. You need to let people feel who you really are. You do a lot of great things, but no one really knows. You're hiding behind, your creativity and your work. So she was one of those few people that constantly used to drill that in my head. So now that I'm here, it's so crazy how we made full circle, and she's on tonight for this amazing interview representing the 320 Collections brand. So let's get into her bio. So meet DaVonna May, visionary designer and stylist for Belladonna Prima Donna Accessory House and co-owner, marketing and branding specialist of Mossman Cmos. These health and beauty brands exemplify DaVonna's mission, helping men and women develop a healthy, powerful, positive self-image so they can operate in the fullness of their God-given power and authority. DaVonna's life is marked by complete trust in the promises of God. So when asked to become an ambassador of the 320 collection, DaVonna was honored to align with a great friend who created a powerful brand that would spread the good news of God. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. This is a trustworthy reminder that when you fully trust the Lord, everything is possible for you. Without further ado, bring up the queen herself, my sister, my dear friend, business bestie, DaVonna May.
My queen.
Yes. Hi. So yes, we're live. Yes, so we're live. Yes. So hello everyone. This is DaVonna May, the one and only. I just want to first get into, tell us about your businesses, who you are, what you have done, and where you are right now.
Thank you so much. You are so beautiful. I'm thanking God for you right now.
Thank
I
you.
really believe that God brings us together with the people who can help us grow and evolve. And you have been so important in my journey. And I just want to thank you. And I know God is going to continue to do more and more, evolve you in greater ways. And I can't wait to book your services. I'll talk to you about that later, though. Okay. But I'm the CEO of Belladonna Prima Donna Accessory House, and I'm a co-owner of Mossman Cmos. I started Belladonna back in 2010. I graduated law school, and I immediately knew that becoming a lawyer wasn't for me. I've always been very spiritually inclined. God has always had his hand on my heart. And yes, I was wayward in a lot of ways, but God always. And so law school really showed me how brutal the world, how brutal people can be when it comes to morality, and
Right.
And how filthy things can become when it comes to spirituality. And I was just much too young and wise at the same time to sacrifice my soul or my spiritual well-being. So I knew that was an industry that I would not do well in spiritually. So I had to make a choice. I was like, I want to pour my life and my energy into something that I really believe in. And I really believe in people. I really believe in the power that people have within them, the hidden talents, the gifts, the things that they may not see. And I believe that I always had the ability to energize what was inside of people and help bring it out to the forefront so they could be great servants on this earth, great instruments, great leaders, and ultimately people who can bring you closer to God and bring them closer to the will of God. So that's what I wanted to do. And that's what Belladonna was all about. It was just about empowering the greatness inside of every woman, using accessories to do so. And so I have done that since 2010. And fast forward, I went through a period of life where I became really depressed and really, it was my health. I was, overweight, and I was just feeling unhealthy, and I just knew I needed a change, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So I talked to God, and I was like, listen, what do I have to do here? Because I am not okay. And I just heard a word, and it was like, change your diet, change your life. So I'm a person who was just very inspired by God. God will give me a vision, and I'll go for it. So I had the opportunity to book a trip to California to go stay with some relatives. They told me you can stay as long as you want. I stayed in California. I detoxed. I went vegan. plant-based, should I say, and changed my life. My husband was also starting a business where Cmos and herbal remedies. He's all about natural healing. So we kind of just have these aligned interests that combined. And when he got serious about his business, I just got behind him 100% and just we've been going with that. And it's been about a year now since I've been, behind him. So that's where we are, and we're just on this journey helping people become healthy, happy, wealthy. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're doing.
Okay, I know that's right. So to speak to that, how would you speak to women that are entrepreneurs that are married and they started first in the business and now is their husband? Like, what advice would you give to that woman now that should back up? Now your man is doing it. How do you speak to that?
When I was doing Belladonna, my husband was definitely there for me when I needed him, but I was the one. I was the engine behind it. So I would sometimes get frustrated, like, I wish you would be a partner and just be really, really in it with me. And he's like, I am in it. I'm here how I should be,
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, you have to really just understand people's roles. Not everybody is meant to be just, not everybody's meant to be your partner like that, but appreciate and have gratitude for how they are able to serve in your life. When I tell you I needed money to take a train to get to New York to do New York Fashion Week, or if I needed a ride, or if I needed when I went to California and I needed to make sure I was provided for, he never missed a beat, but he wasn't at the fashion shows with me. You know what I mean? So I had to really do a lot of spiritual evaluation of people's just being grateful for who people are and accepting them for who they are supposed to be and not what you think they should be in your walk. So that's number one. And as a married woman, you should always, I hope that you're with the person who you believe in when it comes to business. And it was easy to align myself with his purpose and his business because it's something that I believed in as well. And in marriage and in life and in friendships, you shouldn't have an ego and you shouldn't have pride. You have to work the assignment. You know what I mean? It's all about getting the job done. So a lot of times, I might think we should do it this way and he thinks we should do it that way. But the problem solver inside of me is like, it doesn't matter what's best for the customer and what's best for the business. And that's really how I work. I definitely try to leave ego out of it. It's not about me and my vanity. It's about doing the assignment that we were given. So
yes, absolutely. I love that because I could only imagine, especially, in our generation, we preach the Miss Independent, right? And we women, majority of entrepreneurship is dominated by women. So how do you go from that mindset of, I got to be the go-getter. I have to be the boss. I got to let them know that I'm showing up and I'm bringing something to the table. Then now coming behind your husband who has a vision, like, how do you switch? Like, how do you switch the hats that you wear when you're in that position? So that's why I'm so glad that you shared that, because I think a lot of women need to hear that. Like, you could still be the boss and run your thing and still support your husband and what he wants to do, even if it's not entrepreneurship. Sometimes he just wants his 9 to 5, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just knowing that, for me, I think that a lot of us need to be very careful with that Miss Independent thing, because that could go a whole nother way.
And there's nothing more beautiful than having a man, a husband, a friend who you can honestly just feel safe with. You don't have to be so strong. And a lot of times we've got to learn how to just let back. Like, I'm still a boss. I'm still going to. I still am who I am, but he's big enough, to make room for me without compromising who he is, and I'm big enough to make room for him without compromising who I am. And that took work. That's not just something that, we just fell into it. No, there's a lot of, we've been knowing each other. We're high school sweethearts, so 16 years old. So we've been knowing each other for like a long time, decades, And so all that time, it's been communicating, it's been respecting each other, it's been understanding each other, it's been really letting each other grow and see who we're becoming, and making sure that we had a lot of common ground to work with. And it's really about respect. He does not make me compromise who I am, and I don't compromise who he is. We get together. I do my job, he does his, and it's still a growing work in progress, but
Of course.
No, he can't make me smaller, and I would never want to make him smaller. I would never
Right.
want to. There's no one in front or behind. It's we're there together with it.
Right, right. And that's so important. And I love that. Yeah, and I personally, I remember we went to an event together, or we met up at an event together,
Yes.
and your at the time he was your fiance.
Yes.
And the way he's so supportive. He was there waiting. And I mean, she has hands down, like her husband is awesome.
I
Seriously.
love
So I was
him.
like, that dude right there, he's a keeper, girly. He's a
Thank you.
keeper.
When I was
Um,
in California, I had so many opportunities. He stayed in New Jersey while I was in California. And
wow.
and
Okay.
I had so many opportunities coming to me that were trying to get me to stay in California, and we weren't married at the time, but I woke up and I was like, I cannot imagine living my life without him. I don't care if I'm the richest woman living in the biggest house. I would still want to wake up every morning and roll over and tell him what I'm doing and how my day is. So I couldn't imagine it. So I just left California and I'm like, all right, we can get married now. And God
Wow.
has truly, truly, truly blessed us. And I think that more out of obedience, because I just wanted to be obedient to God. I didn't want to be a person who was just running around unmarried with a man that I knew I was going to be with. So getting married really just gave us this covering, this blessings, and it's taken us places where I just can't even describe. We've been so successful and so blessed in so many ways, and I'm just grateful. I love that man and I love God, and I'm just like in awe of the little things. So
Yeah, definitely. Like when it's very hard to find, like people would glamorize or romanticize over the Sierra and Russell Wilson's relationship, or the Beyonce's and the Jay-Z, but to know somebody like an everyday woman like myself that's killing it and doing it and working and making something for herself and building generational wealth and legacy with another man, is with a man that I can see it's real. Like, oh, this is real. This is not just the Sierra and Russell Wilson thing. Like, people out here could really have this. So it's a beautiful thing to see, and to see how far you guys have come. You guys have known each other for so many years. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. So just keep doing what y'all been doing.
Thank you.
Because God is working and God is blessing it. So do what you do. So to get a little bit into the Cmos business, tell us a little bit about that and why you started that, where that came from, whatever you would like to share about that.
Yeah, so honestly, I didn't know much about Cmos when I got into the business. That summer that I came back from California, I had already gone vegan, and so natural healing and natural foods and natural just lifestyle, organic things were my calling at the moment, because I started off at 171 pounds, and just by going plant-based, I took meat out of my diet and I took dairy out of the diet, and I went from 171 to my lowest has been 135.
Wow.
And I mean, that's like no exercise, no over energy spent. It's just the eating. It just shed the weight so fast. I mentioned earlier that I was really going through a state of depression. So,
Right.
but my mind had cleared up. My emotions had become more stable. And I realized it was the food giving me these hormones and these toxins and these poisons that just were like really keeping me unbalanced. So I was sold on anything that was organic and wholesome. So when I got back home, my husband had been selling Cmos smoothies to like the local people in our neighborhood. And when I tasted it, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And like, again, I didn't know much about it, but I just started to do some research, and I mentioned to you off camera that his father had got cancer. So he was on a mission to figure out holistic and organic ways to heal his father without chemos and without medicines and all that. So we started digging into the herbs, into the teas, into the Cmos and all the benefits that come with it. And when I started to learn about all of the things that it was doing and putting into your body, from the nutrients and the vitamins and all that good stuff, and how it repairs every organ in your body, it's just, I was like, yeah, I'm all for that. He ended up having to compromise when COVID started. He had to compromise. They were trying to kind of put him at risk for catching it because they were keeping him out in the field. while they were all
Wow.
sitting at home protected, you know? And so I was like, no, we're not doing that. They're not putting my husband, my husband at risk. We're going to start
Right.
this business. And I just had a word from God. It was just very strong. Start the Cmos business, just do it. And so that's really what it was. I had to kind of force him a little bit because of course a man wants to provide stability for his family, and taking him away from a job that he had been really getting good pay at to, you know, working as an entrepreneur in the midst of a pandemic was scary. But he trusts me because I get really strong, you know, messages and from God, and it's always, you know, on point. So he quit that job, and we were blessed in the pandemic. We were blessing other people in the pandemic. We were able to help people with our products, restore their health. People would tell us that, you know, they hadn't been able to exercise in years, and ever since they've been taking the
Wow.
Cmos, they were up and walking. They're losing weight. Their blood pressure's dropping. It's just amazing. So anything that's helping our people, I'm here for it. And this is just our calling at this point in time. So.
Hey, Yvonne. I see Yvonne tuning in. Thanks. Yes. She's doing amazing. So let us know. Okay, so you talk a little bit about how did you transition out of that depressive state? Like, what were some of the things that shifted for you or in you?
Wow. Oh my gosh. It's such a hard story to tell because I don't know where to start. I love my family very much, but I come from a very broken family. The foundation has just been really marked by sabotage and destruction and abuse and conflict. Just as you was just a plain old generational curses, as they say, you know, the things we all go through. And I grew up really having nothing. My parents, you know, they were young parents, so we dealt with witnessing a lot of abuse and just two young people who just couldn't get it right, you know, and really just a divided household. And I'm the oldest, and like I said, I've always had like the spirit of God with me, so I'm like the truth teller, and it was annoying to people. And then when I went to law school, my mom just lost her mind when I decided I didn't want to practice law and I wanted to start a business. So I was a very insecure person in the midst of everything that I did. I was very broken because my mom really like just kind of beat me down. And then my community beat me down. I would go to school and I was just like made fun of and criticized and humiliated by everybody. So I was a very like kind of person. And but I always had this thing inside of me that was like, listen, if God believes in you, you just, what else do you need? You have to. It was like, do you ever have this feeling of like being pulled in a direction and you just can't resist it no matter what you do? I tried to get the jobs. I tried the regular 9-to-5 thing, but nothing ever stopped that sensation that said, start Belladonna, start your business, start your business. So I did against all odds. I literally was like locked in my basement because my family just couldn't stand me because they couldn't understand that I wanted to forsake a legal career for a stupid little bubblegum business or whatever. But that business was the opportunity that I had to help other women feel beautiful. So every time I felt sad or every time I felt low, I would give a piece of free jewelry to somebody. So in the end, it just really boils down to God is using me to help other people who may feel low or insecure or beaten up to know that there's somebody out there who's been through that and who's going to support them through and through. I think that.
tonight?
Hey.
I think we're trying to hop back on. Thank you for bearing with us. It happens from time to time. Okay, so we're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Listen, somebody need to get this deliverance tonight because this story gonna come out. Go ahead and tell that story, please, about how you transitioned out of that depressive state and how did you move forward? Let's go back.
Yeah. Well, you just gotta be honest with yourself and realize that you are in a toxic space, and no matter how much good you're doing, you have to kind of rid yourself of the toxicity. Whatever, whether it be the childhood trauma, you can't blame. I had to go through a process of forgiveness of myself and my family. I had to go through this thing where I was like, you know what, I can't blame my mom and dad for all the things, because you know how you feel, it's your fault that I went through this and that I'm like this and I'm all messed up. But I took full responsibility for my actions, for my choices, for where I was in life. And you know, I had taken, so when you take responsibility, you take back your power, you take back control, and then you're able to navigate yourself into a direction where you want to be. So and then again, that takes a lot of prayer. It takes a lot of getting in with God. You hit that rock bottom and you stay there on your face until you get an answer, and then you move. You know, God gives you the answers, He gives you the grace, and then you move step by step. So you know, growing up in that sort of a toxic situation, I developed a lot of bad self-sabotaging habits. So, you know, I would smoke and I would drink and just kind of hang out with the wrong people. And I'm saying that to young girls to let you know that that is definitely not the way. You are so much more beautiful than that. You are so much more important than that. And until I realized that I had such an important meaning on this earth, and I had a purpose, God told me one day very clearly. He was like, as long as you decide to sit here doing, not doing what I asked you to do, there's going to be generations of young women who are led astray because they don't have a path to follow. I gave you a tribe of women. I gave you generations of women to lead to me. But because you refuse to stand in your authority that I've given you, they're going to all be led astray. And I was so overwhelmed with the thought of that responsibility. And so it's a combination of all these things, you know, and I think it was my health and my mental health at the very last breaking point that was like, I've got to get it together. I've got to put all of this dirt aside, all of this, these doubts, all this insecurity, all these bad habits aside, and really step into the position that God has created me to be in, because you can't occupy your space when you're holding on to sin, or when you're holding on to bad mental behaviors and emotional patterns, you know. So I had to really just get rid of all of that, and it started with, you know, a lot of prayer and a lot of fasting. And then I was at rock bottom, and then, like I said, I booked that ticket to California. And actually the day that I was supposed to fly to California, the girl that I was supposed to stay with canceled on me and told me, I just don't want you to come here anymore. So it was like, oh, what am I going to do? I still went anyway. And I always tell people, it's not always about what you can plan ahead. It's about sometimes just getting there. Like, just get to where God is calling you to go, and then He'll help you figure it out from there. Because once I got to California, that when she canceled on me, I just went on Facebook and was like, so is there anybody in LA that I can stay with? And one of my uncles was like, come stay with me and my family. So God opened up a space for me, you know, where it tried to close. And when I got there, I stayed in LA for a week. I communicated with some of my other relatives out in San Diego, went out to visit them, realized that that was where I was supposed to be, stayed there for 8 months, got my life together, got my mind together, my health and my body together. It was everything I needed. And so don't allow the stumbling blocks, or just the obstacles to deter you. Do what you're being called to do. God will make a way for you, and He will purify you. He will make you clean, and He will make you useful for His purpose. But you have got to be a willing vessel. You've got to be obedient. You know, God gives us all these promises, and His promises are real, but we have to work. We have a responsibility to walk according to walk and be worthy of receiving these promises. So I just that's what I try to tell people. Live your life in excellence. Serve the Lord in humility, you know, learn gratitude, learn forgiveness, learn love, learn patience, rid yourself of ego, and just really get personal with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Look yourself in the mirror, and and take accountability for your life and your walk, and it's on from there.
Listen, that was a whole sermon. I mean, this is why the Wi-Fi went crazy, because you just delivered a few people on that one right there. Okay.
Praise
I
God.
mean, the nuggets, the gems that you just dropped, I was just like, man, I'm so glad that you were. I'm humbly glad that you were willing to share your testimony, share a little bit of your life, your story with the people, and to to really help someone else. Because the thing with this web series, this is everything that I do. I try to the best of my ability that it will be an honor unto God. And this show came from him. This is his vision. This is his idea. I'm just here sitting in his seat, but this is his show. So the fact that you were willing to share that testimony and what just happened, what transpired before it just all completes it for me, and hopefully for a viewer that's tuning in or those that would catch the replay. But just to get into now, Yvonne's brand 320 collection, what does it mean to you, and why did you decide to become a brand ambassador?
First of all, support means everything to me, because I didn't have support in my own home. So to have a woman who was a complete stranger pop into my life and not only support me with her money, but with her words, her energy over the years, it was a no-brainer to support her in any way that I could. And I am I'm pro entrepreneurship. So you want to start a business, girl, I am here for it. What do you need from me? So Yvonne and I think we connected maybe 5 years ago or something like that on Facebook. And it was just me promoting my jewelry, Belladonna Prima Donna, and she just was I know she was a godsend. I know God sent her to me, because when you go through that time in your business where you don't have any money and that one sale makes all the difference, or when you're feeling super low and that person says something to you that makes you feel powerful again, and you get up and you continue on. That's who she has been to me. And I don't know if I've ever even told her that, but she was one of the very few people who kept my business going and kept me going in my very beginning stages. And I'll always be grateful to her for that. So when she started 320, it was just a no-brainer. I couldn't wait to support her. And then, like I said, I'm a person who lives off the promises of God, and when I was introduced to what she was standing for, I will do to him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can think. Like that I live my life on that. God is able to do beyond all you can imagine. So that's where my mental space is all the time. So it really aligned with what my core beliefs are. And so that was that. It was nothing to think about.
Awesome. So tell me, for other brands that would approach you, because a lot of people, I will bring her back on the show later in the summer, because you guys got to know this woman's background. A famous rapper, her jewelry was in a pretty popular rapper that many of us know and quote and sing his rhymes all the time. You could drop the name if you want to. I ain't gonna drop it.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah, we can talk about that later in this summer. But yes, so I definitely have to bring her back, because you guys really don't have a slightest clue of who DaVonna May is. Y'all gonna learn. But anyway, but yes. So for other brands that want to approach you, or what would you say, even for yourself as a business owner? What are some of the key things that you would look for in a brand ambassador program? Vice versa, like if you with from the CEO's perspective versus the brand ambassador, like as a brand ambassador, why yes to Yvonne? Like, what was the approach? What made you, apart from the vision and your core values, like what were some of the things that's like, yeah, this makes sense, even business wise? Because let's also talk about business. Yes, everything for us, the foundation is God, but we also, we got to talk about the business as well. And I know a lot of people who have been influencers and brand ambassadors for a lot of brands, and they have not been happy, right? Yeah. And I'm sure you know some of those people as well. So from both perspectives, like from the CEO and the brand ambassador, like what are some of the tips for those that are tuning in that would like to start a brand ambassador program, or would like to even approach you as a brand ambassador for a brand later on, things of that nature. Like, what are some tips that you would give people?
I think any business, any person, first of all, should define who they are before they try to become anything. Define your
Right.
core values and be unwavering in what you believe in, because the right people will be attracted to you and the wrong people will be repelled. You have to stand solid in whatever it is you're going to represent. You can't do things for opportunity. You can't do things for a momentary gain. I've worked with all types of people. And lots of those relationships didn't work because they all wanted to just use each other as opposed to just genuinely wanting to see each other build. So I really just work off of integrity. You know, I take you for who you are. What do you really like? What does your character say? And are you somebody who I really feel like I can align myself with? I look for people who are serious about what they do, that they are grounded in their vision, that they treat people with love and respect, and that they have the spirit of God in them. You know, I really, and the thing is, I don't work with a. I'm sorry, I got a phone call. Are
No,
we
that's
still
fine.
here?
No,
Yeah, we're
that's
still
fine.
here. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
but
still here. Mhm.
it's definitely just about having a knowledge of yourself and being defined within yourself, and you'll attract the people who are like you, like-minded, like-spirited. That's really what it is for me. And I have had times where I had conflict with business owners, and I wasn't afraid to walk away, and I wasn't afraid to stand my ground and say, this is not for me. The spirit doesn't match, the intentions and integrity doesn't match. So you just got to know who you are and know what you're willing to deal with. Boundaries are super important. You have to set a standard for your life, and you have to be willing to let people rise to that standard. I remember I was in New Orleans, and that's when the famous rapper situation happened with the jewelry. But the people that I was working with were so they were so like full of themselves and full of their power. And there was some miscommunication on something, and they were trying to like just give it to me. They were just disrespectful. They were like really mean and nasty to me. And they were like, but are you still coming to let us use your jewelry? And I had a choice to make. I'm like, well, am I going to let these people disrespect me and I'm still going to show up for them? Or am I going to say, no, you will never talk to me like that. You will never treat me like that. I don't care what you think you are, who you think you are. You just got to be able to walk away from situations that don't serve your greatest purpose, you know, and you'll be rewarded for that. So set your standards, know who you are, be unyielding in what your core values are, and the right people will come to you, period.
Definitely, definitely. I agree with that. Yeah, because I've heard some horror stories around brand ambassador programs and influencer programs. A lot of times too, let's speak a little bit too. I don't know how much you know about micro influencers, but what does that really mean to you? Have you ever worked with any, and why that's why to consider them? Because a lot of times, brands want to go for the big brand, big influencers or big brand ambassadors. Of course, that's way more money involved. But like you said, it goes back to integrity and character. And a lot of them that have, the 100K followers and all these things that we reach out to them. Oh, I want you to be an influencer or brand ambassador because you have all this following, but the character and the integrity ain't there. So let's
Right.
can you touch upon that a little bit?
Yeah. One thing I've learned is that numbers don't mean anything, and it's not even about character and integrity. I see people, I just have the ability to see people for who they are. And speaking personally, there was a time in my journey where I had one outfit, I had one pair of shoes, I could not get my hair done, I could not get my nails done, I did not have a place to call my own. I was broke, but I was working. I was full of an assignment. I was full of the passion, and I was getting it done. So you can achieve more than a person who has everything with nothing. I had nothing, and I was able to help other women start their businesses. I was able to help other women not only um, financially prosper in their own rights, but emotionally blossom. I was able to help women define their gifts inside of them, all while I was broke. So I would never look at somebody based off their superficial statistics. Like, I don't think you need to be all dressed up with all these standards of the world in order to serve. Like, I see the heart of a person, and that's who I choose to work with. I work with women, I guess you could say micro influencers, and we just out we just vibe. It just is a natural knowing of who I want to work with. I'll send you a pair of sunglasses for free, or you send me a package in the mail, and we just represent each other. It's just about that sisterhood, that unity, that willingness to empower each other, to help each other's businesses grow and help each other's lives become more enriched. If there's something that I can do to help you become better, then I'm going to do that, especially when you've been a genuine supporter, when you're somebody who's not just an opportunist. It's just easy to kind of, you just have to be observant, and you have to be vigilant. And doing so, you'll know who's right for you, who's a part of your tribe, and who's not. And that's just that. But I definitely don't want people to think that it's about the numbers, because again, you can accomplish so much with nothing, and then God will bless you with the abundance eventually. But put that work in, put the skin in, put the blood, sweat, and tears in. Put your head down. Don't be ashamed of where you are, and don't be ashamed of the fact that there's all these people that look shiny, because your shine is on the inside. Your treasures are on the inside. Your gifts are what's going to bring you that shine that they are putting on. Your shine is true and genuine. So just give yourself time, have enough courage and patience to allow yourself to develop and bloom into this beautiful flower, this beautiful tree that you truly are. So, and then again, the right people will be aligned with you. You don't have to really chase anything, because it'll be given to you, but you will be inspired step by step. You will know what to do step by step, as long as you keep focused.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, what else is left to say after that? That is the truth. But any last thoughts or last things about 320 upcoming gems that are dropping, or I think she has a spring or summer release that's coming out. I don't know if she released it to you yet, but anything that that's coming up for the brand that you would like to share, if Miss Yvonne would allow it, or
Yeah. Well, I have been watching Miss Yvonne as well, and I know she has a spring collection coming out, and I cannot wait, because it's these really cool, like cute tie-dye t-shirts.
Yes.
And, I can't wait to get one. I'm wearing her jersey dress. I got it tied up as a shirt, but it's. I just want to say, like, not just because I'm a representative, but I love the clothes, the hoodie. I live in it. I've got this red hoodie. I wear it everywhere. It's like my thing, This dress that I'm wearing, it's a dress you can wear for sleep, nightwear, or you can kind of wear it during the day when you're hustling and bustling. I've got one of the 320 totes, and I love that tote because it's really symbolic, because I throw everything in there when I'm on the move. We're always on the road. We're always making moves for business. And it's a great reminder that I'm putting all of this stuff in my bag, and God is going to do exceedingly abundant beyond all I can think or imagine. I'm taking this bag on the road, and I'm going to be blessed beyond all measure, that God is going to use me in this time to do great things. So I love carrying that bag around. And it's just like I said, it's just such a great reminder of the promises of God, how real they are. And I really just hope that everyone could find it in their hearts to try to believe and to try to increase their faith. I know that we're in a world where there's so many different doctrines and ideologies. I just want to say there is one true God. He is the source of all sources. He is the oneness. And I just want you to just get to know him. And I just pray that God can penetrate the hearts of all his people, because it's such a beautiful and fulfilling experience to be in the palm of his hand, to know that every step of your way is blessed, and to know that you can really truly do anything. And I mean, that power of God has broken generational curses off my family. That power has brought wayward children in my family back together. That power has brought disbelievers back into belief. Like that power has restored and made, like when I tell you, my mom and I went through this thing of entrepreneurship. Now my mom is an entrepreneur. Hello.
Really?
I mean, it's So
Love it.
if you are a believer and if you're kind of like going through a hard time, stay down. Stay down, because your time is coming. Just everybody has a time, you know.
Yes.
And I pray that when you rise, you never fall, and that when you hit your stride, you never stop. But keep on keeping on. It's worth the journey. Have enough courage for long enough to serve, and always be obedient. Always seek to be obedient to the will of God, because that's all God asks of us. Be obedient. Keep me in remembrance, and He'll give you everything you need in this world. While everything is falling apart, while people are passing away, while things are being destroyed, you are growing. You are becoming more fortified and more strong, and you're becoming more blessed. And you can't even understand why you're doing this while everything else is doing that. But that's the promise of God. So I just pray that all His faithful people, all His righteous people be blessed, and that they receive not only the goodness that is on this earth, but they receive their crown in heaven, and that they receive their salvation, and that they enjoy paradise with our Father and Christ our King. So
listen,
bless everybody.
who does not love? I mean, this has been an awesome interview. I thank you so much. I love you. You're a sister. You're my queen. Listen. This is, man, we have to bring her back in the summer.
Listen, I need you, like I said, for your services. I'm going to need you.
Oh, so yes, definitely. So I just want to thank you again for your time, for the pouring. Let God restore you for the pour that you gave. Let Him refill you. I mean, you haven't seen anything yet. You're going to call me on this. Miracles and testimonies coming your way. There's some big doors and tables coming your way.
Amen.
So I speak that over you. And I stand in agreement of heaven concerning you and your husband. I'm so excited for what you guys are doing and how you represent God so well as a couple, individually and collectively. So I'm just grateful to know both of you. I love who you are and what you represent, and just keep doing you. Don't be shy away from the camera, because the world needs to hear your voice and see that beautiful face of yours, and tell your story. Because you empower so many women and girls. That's another thing that I've always loved about you, your service to women and girls, and how you give back in that way, which we'll talk about that when you come back on the show. But I'm so excited for all that you are doing. 2021, this is only the beginning. It's only March. We have so much more to go. And just keep doing you, and let's stay in touch. Let's stay connected. And however I can support you in any way, please let me know. I'm here to work with you and your husband. Whatever you need from me, I'm here. So I'm going to let you go, and we're going to get into some music, and then I'll come back and end the show.
All right, Queen. Thank you. I love you. God bless you and your beautiful family. Talk to you soon.
Welcome back. It was an awesome interview. Thanks again to Miss Yvonne Williams of the 320 Collection, the founder, the owner, the creator behind the amazing brand and what it means to us faith-based queens, the righteous, the remnant, and to the world. It is a beautiful message. And thanks again to the queen, my sister, my dear friend, DaVonna May, for coming on, for repping the brand so hard, and for sharing her testimony, pouring into everyone. She's an amazing entrepreneur. She has done some great things, and not only on a nationwide, but internationally. If you go follow her, we had her Instagram up, but I will place it in the comments where you can go and follow her on Instagram. She has such a beautiful soul and spirit about her. Very warm, welcoming, very loving, very caring, and she is a go-getter, and she loves to see other people win, like myself. So we have that definitely in common. We love to see people win, and we're all about women empowering women supporting each other, lifting each other up, and really building generational wealth and living a legacy that God will be proud of. At the end of the day. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in for the first show of the March series. Once again, happy Women's History Month. Keep doing what we do. As you know, last night, before I go, I gotta say it's crazy how this is Women's History Month and Beyonce made history last night on the Grammys. I'm sure everybody knows about that. Congrats to Beyonce for that. I mean, it's just a time for women to really come together, to support one another, and to really own who we are, and to create the space even when it's not given to us. Create that table, bring the table when we're coming, even when they don't want to give us a seat, we'll bring the table and kick down the door. So, shout out to every woman that is making history. Every time that you wake up and you open your eyes, you are making history. Let me say that again. Every time you open your eyes, you are about to make history, because you are going to do something that you have yet to have done. It's another chance to do something that you have never done. So never beat up yourself. Like DaVonna May has said, and I have said too, be patient, give yourself grace. Don't compare yourself. Comparison is the devil itself. Comparison, jealousy, there's no need for it. You are here for your own purpose. You have your own path, and the world is waiting on you. So discover who you are in God, discover your voice, discover your sound and what you bring to the table, why you are here, and really contribute, and always have a heart of service. Always remain humble in all that you do, and the world will literally be at your fingertips. God will always provide for you, because he always provides everything that we need and more, right? So if you ever need any services from me, like I said, I am your 6-figure video content strategist. I will help you with your video content strategies. I am also executive coach, and I also provide live streaming services. So whatever you need, reach out to me. That's my contact. All of my social media is up there. So inbox me, DM me. I would also drop my email in the comment section on this live once it's done. Make sure you share the live, tag, invite women, because this is Women's History Month, and we really need to support one another and get out of this mindset of competition. It's really about collaboration, because my motto is, when we work together, we win together. So that is my spiel for tonight, and I just want to thank you all for tuning in, and I just hope that you have a blessed night and know that I love you, and I will see you back. Let me check my calendar so I can tell you who is up next for the March series. Give me one quick second. Yes, let me let you know, because we have some great women lined up for the March series, for the Women History Month series. So on the 19th, which is Friday, we have the lovely Kishana on Friday, March 19th. So tune in for Kishana. She is an amazing woman who is doing phenomenal. She has written books for the youth, for our children, to learn about credit, the power of credit, the power of, in the arena of financial literacy and education, right? So like I said, it's all about building that generational wealth, building legacy that God will be proud of, and pouring into the youth, pouring into the generations behind us, because it's not about us. As much as we think it's about us, it was really not. It's for those that are looking to us to help them get to the next level, and those definitely behind us. We have to pass the baton on. We won't forever be in these positions, but we have to be in a position to serve, and to serve with a good heart, with a pure heart, and to be honorable in all of our ways, to be accountable, right? Hold yourself and others accountable, and to be integral, and to be humble, humility, right? Like Kendrick Lamar said best, sit down, be humble. So good night. I love you all, and I will see you on March 19th. That's Friday. So tune in. You guys will see the notification to see what time. I can't remember at the top of my head. I didn't check on the calendar, but I will see you on March 19th. I love you all. Have a good night. Thank you.